My next guest, Miss Pat, is one of the hottest names in comedy, but she really blasted into pop culture fame after almost crashing the BET Plus app when her sitcom, The Miss Pat Show, premiered and broke the platform streaming records. The show also earned an Emmy nomination in its very first season. And that is not all. Miss Pat is now among a select group of women in Hollywood shaking up the industry with her very own production deal to create even more content for TV and beyond. She's doing it all by embracing her imperfect past and learning to laugh at all of the rough stuff and shine. Please welcome comedian, author, actress, Emmy-nominated host, Miss Pat! Hello, of course, yes. You joined the ranks of some great comedians, Jerry Seinfeld, Bernie Mac, George Lopez, all of them, Roseanne Barr, who have these shows now that were pulled from their real life.
Yeah. My show was based on me moving from Atlanta to Plainfield, Indiana, a very conservative little white neighborhood. Never thought I would have created a show, but here you is. You put me, who a convicted felon, check forging, and drug dealer, right in the midst of a bunch of Republicans.
Think about this, Miss Pat. We're in a world that we can, I know you are repentant, if you will, for the crimes committed.
I'm just too old to steal anymore.
But you know, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm old enough to remember when censors would have taken out that entire answer.
Yeah.
Because they would have said that daytime audience cannot accept the fact that you have a criminal past and now you're here. But the reality is, which is the whole point of this show, is life gets messy.
It does.
We make mistakes, we have regrets, we want do-overs, but life doesn't give you a chance often to do a do-over. But you turn this past trauma into a show that's breaking records.
Thank you, thank you. You know what, me and my co-creator, Jordan Cooper, we just put a real black mama on TV.
Yeah.
And I told Hollywood, I said, I'm not Claire Huxtable. I grew up watching her, but that wasn't my mom in the house. My mom talked like I talk on my show.
Yeah.
And I think people were just happy to see somebody who sound like them when they go in the house and take their wig off.
You know, I'll tell you, it's interesting because Norman Lear, the great Norman Lear, created All in the Family and so many other shows. I know personally became a fan. You talk about the range here. Again, you have this authentic voice that is recognizable to black women and black culture. But then Norman Lear, who last I checked is not a black woman, did not grow up in the South, but he appreciated what you brought to the table.
Well, one thing he said he really liked the show, and a lot of things that we get to say, he wish he could say it in the 70s.
Wow. And he pushed the limit. I mean, Archie Bunker, we talked the other day, that character wouldn't be on TV today.
No.
They would take it off.
And you know, that's one of the things my co-creator said. He was like, a lot of people want to say you're the Black Roseanne, but you're not. No. You actually aren't your Bunker.
You are.
Some days I say the things people don't want to hear black people say.
Well, what you did, though, that Archie Bunker and the characters that Norman Lear created, as remarkable as they were, and I'm a kid who watched everything he's created, is that you brought this authentic voice of experience. One of the most talked about episodes of the season was when you tackled how black women see themselves through the lens of people that's supposed to love us, who beat us down about hair, who sometimes about complexion. And let me play this clip that it was so powerful, and I'm gonna tell everybody right now. It is a difficult clip to watch, but it is real. Let's take a look.
Rabbit, get your in this kitchen and wash these dishes.
Tell us you're pretty.
What?
Tell us you're pretty.
And that was so dear to me because my mama messed me up as a kid. When she would comb my hair, she said, the first time I heard I was ugly was from my own mama. I said, you gotta say where the trauma start from. And for me and so many other black women and other brown women, it started wrapped sitting between your mama leg with a hot comb or one of them Afro combs. And that episode was so hard for me to shoot. I think I cried so much. My mama was supposed to be dead in the episode. And I remember when my mama died, it's bad when your parent die and you don't feel any love. Because I didn't feel any love when she was here. And, so many times when, you already got society against you, but when your own household is against you, that's hard.
Well, let me ask you, because Michael K. Williams, who had become a friend of mine, his memoirs just released, and it talked about him experiencing trauma as well from his mother.
Yes.
That his dark skin that Hollywood celebrated, she saw as ugly. And he experienced a lot of trauma throughout his life. But something his cousin said to me was that looking through life through her prism, she thought she was protecting him.
Yes.
Right. She thought, I'm toughening you up for the world. And we see that so often that some parents believe, I'm gonna be hard on you so that when the world is hard on you, you'll be prepared. When you look back at those experiences from your mom, have you been able to understand, I'm not validating, I'm just curious as you unpack it as a mom now yourself. Do you know where that comes from? Why do that to the child you have in front of you that you could mold? Why do you think she did it?
Because nobody loved her. Hurt people hurt people. So, it wasn't until I wrote my book, Rabbit, that I realized I followed in my mama's footsteps. I had my first kid at 14 by a married man that was 22, 23 years old. My daddy was the same amount of age. My daddy had my mama about 9 years. But I'm the last child, and my mom was 21 years old when she had her sixth child. So I followed all the footsteps that she did. So he was very abusive. My mom was 25 years old with no front teeth. So she was beat down. She's the only spirit that I ever seen that I felt like was 99 years old. And that's how she carried on. My mama passed away when she was 39 years old. Unbroken heart, never felt like she was loved. So that was one of the reasons why when I gave birth to my 14-year-old child by this married man, and I remember holding my child the day after she was born, August 10th, and I said, I know this person loved me.
Oh. More with Miss Pat after
Watch the second season of the Miss Pat Show.
Y'all heard it from?
Deal or no deal?
Damn right.
We are back with comedian, actress, and Hollywood deal maker, Miss Pat, who's inspiring people to embrace their imperfections and find the funny when life gets hard with her record-breaking Emmy-nominated grown folk sitcom called The Miss Pat Show. So, you and your husband, Garrett, the dynamic duo.
Yes.
With the kids.
With kids.
You fell in love, you were 19 when you met?
I was 19
years old. And how did this love turn into the love you knew would last?
Well, I just prayed. I said, Lord, I need a black man with side teeth and a good job that don't...
So the goal, at least with the teeth, that's doable. What was it about him truly, though?
Because he was so respectable, and I remember when the first time that really caught my eye, because my husband was a thick guy, and I was really into skinny guys. I'm a hood rat, he come from such a mom and daddy church every day.
Yeah.
And what really turned me on to him, he watched Seinfeld, and I was like, I don't know no black people watch no Seinfeld.
So you're like, I got a good one. He knows Seinfeld.
Well, I was like, I got one that looked like he can read.
You ended up on this journey. He just retired, you told me?
He just retired from Allison Transmission, which was a part of General Motors, 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah. When I got the show the second season, I'm like, it's time to leave Indiana, okay? Retire.
So now that you have this overall deal, you know, they always say power is when you get in the room, but you know what to do with it. Do you know what to do with all of this power and success you have now?
I sure do. I look at everything in life from what I learned in the streets from being a drug dealer. So I approach everything the way I approach selling drugs. Scared money don't make no money. Come on, let's do it. And we said that for 5 years with the Miss Pat show.
You know what? Your realness, your rawness, your ability to, as you said, scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make no
It has
money, baby.
inspired a whole new generation, and it's resonated with people. I want to play something from your fans. Let's look at it.
Hair, addiction, mother-daughter relationships, generational trauma. Ooh.
Hello, Miss Pat. The fact that you take on those serious issues and address them in a comical spin touches my heart.
She really represents what it means to be Black in America on her show, and I love that for us.
And I know I speak for everyone and all of your fans when I say that your family is our family.
So you continue to do you, and Miss Pat, I can't wait for season 3!
Are you actually blushing over there?
You know, Tamron, I'm a little old Black girl from the West End of Atlanta who dropped out in the 8th grade, and I was at the Emmy last year.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what you can't do, baby, in this world. It's gonna be roadblocks.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. I had my first child at 14, and it made me have something to live for. Because so many times, and when I was a kid, I wanted to give up. And when I finally found some love in my life when I gave birth to that first baby, I knew I had to live. I didn't know I was gonna be a comedian. I didn't know God would give me shot in the back of the head to make other people laugh through their pain. But I'm so glad I'm here to let everybody know it ain't about how you start. It's about how you finish.
Not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Well, we are so happy. The finish line is nowhere near because Miss Pat's going to keep it going. You can stream season 1 and 2 of the Miss Pat Show on BET Plus, and you can get even more of Miss Pat on her podcast, The Pat Down with Miss Pat. Thank you so much. You are an amazing woman.